Shalom, shalom. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and teachers at Great Millstone for teaching me this 100% truth about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and the true reason why he's coming back, which is to save the elect remnant of the house of Israel from their enemies and those that hate them, and to take over the earth and universe, which was given to him by the mighty Yahweh himself, the Ancient of Days, wherein our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, will establish righteousness throughout the whole earth and universe forever under the kingdom of the heaven of the Israelites. Shalom, Akim, and Akwa, Shalakim. We one day closer to the kingdom. Now, I was looking at this little newscast that comes from Africa, and it was dealing with the country Burkina Faso, and they have just struck a military deal with Cuba, which is a tribe of Manasseh, and Venezuela, which is mainly tribe of Ash, if I'm not mistaken. So, let me read this from Isaiah chapter 14, 4th verse. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, aka also known as America, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, I continue, and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. That's for all the trees and shit they've been cutting down over the earth. Verse 9, a good one. Hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
Shalakia Israel, I got disrupted. So let's continue. Now, as I was saying, Burkina Faso is teaming up with Cuba and Venezuela. Let's get this out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 is in full effect. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's check out this, what's going on over Burkina Faso at the moment.
Africa truly irreplaceable? Burkina Faso's Traoré is prepared to challenge that notion. But with past leaders like Thomas Sankara paying a heavy price, is he prepared to face the fallout? And if so,
Hold on,
which
let's
nation
start
might
this
back?
over right
Are
quick.
Western military bases in Africa truly irreplaceable? Burkina
Western military bases in Africa are in trouble. Now, Burkina Faso was colonized by France. So France is having problems with all these little countries over there in Africa. They want to, they don't need their assistance anymore. We'll put it to you like that. And we'll get into their colonialism in a minute.
Faso's Traoré is prepared to challenge that notion. But with past leaders like Thomas Sankara paying a heavy price, is he prepared to face the fallout? And if so, which nation might back Burkina Faso with troops? Let's find out. Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré recently made a groundbreaking move that has resonated globally. By welcoming Cuban and Venezuelan troops, he has aligned Burkina Faso with two nations long famed for their defiance against Western dominance. This decision is significant for Burkina Faso's defense and independence. For decades, the West has exerted control over Africa through economic dependency and military alliance. Traoré's actions send a clear message. Burkina Faso, like Cuba and Venezuela, is ready to assert its autonomy, even if it means
This company just broke the internet with
What
this
the hell?
ingenious car invention. So just hear me out because this was
Breaking from powerful nations that still see Africa as a subordinate partner. So why should this decision be of concern to the West? Because this alliance challenges the very foundations of Western influence in Africa. If Burkina Faso can develop its defenses and economy through partnerships that promote genuine equality, it questions the need for Western assistance altogether. And if one African nation can succeed with non-Western allies, what's to stop others from following suit? Western influence in Africa has often been based on a transactional model, military support in exchange for access to resources or political sway. But Traore's choice to partner with countries that have successfully resisted Western hegemony for decades suggests a potential shift towards alliances that are grounded in mutual respect. Cuba and Venezuela don't bring the same baggage as Western powers, which often come with economic strings attached. Instead, they bring a history of solidarity with developing nations and a demonstrated commitment to resilience. Is the West truly prepared for an Africa that charts its course? Many in Western capitals likely see Traore's alliance as a threat to their interests on the continent. The message is clear: Burkina Faso will not be a pawn in someone else's game. It's a new era where African countries could redefine partnerships on their terms, free from the economic and political constraints often imposed by the West. This shift could inspire a wave of African self-reliance that redefines the continent's global position and disrupts the West's traditional dominance. But why are Cuba and Venezuela preferred? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. For some, Burkina Faso's choice of allies, Cuba and Venezuela, may seem unconventional. After all, one might expect alliances to be based on economic power or geographic proximity. But there's a deeper, symbolic meaning here. Cuba and Venezuela are two nations that have consistently defied Western dominance, especially that of the United States. And
Let me pause it right there. Cuba and Venezuela, two nations that's tied to Russia. Now remember in the scriptures now, Russia's gonna be a guard to these weaker nations so that they can come against the powers, the Western powers, hegemony, the wicked, the Edomites.
face sanctions and blockades with remarkable resilience. Their histories resonate with the African experience of colonialism and exploitation, and they represent what it means to remain sovereign despite external pressure. Both Cuba and Venezuela are fiercely anti-imperialist. They have built their national identities on resisting Western interference and developing self-sustained systems. For Burkina Faso, aligning with these countries isn't just about military support. It's about joining forces with like-minded nations who understand the challenges and rewards of independence. It's a message that Burkina Faso values sovereignty over appeasing traditional powers. Through this alliance, Traoré is making it clear that he sees no reason for his country to depend on Western validation to chart its course. And both countries have demonstrated that it's possible to survive, if not thrive, without the approval or support of the West. For instance, despite facing some of the harshest economic sanctions in modern history, Cuba has developed an internationally recognized healthcare system, excelling in areas like preventative medicine and doctor training. Venezuela, rich in resources and expertise in energy, has faced numerous Western sanctions, yet continues to pursue economic self-reliance. Burkina Faso stands to gain practical benefits from this alliance too. Cuban and Venezuelan expertise in guerrilla warfare, resilience under sanctions, and the development of local defense systems is invaluable to a country that aims to reduce its dependency on external powers. For instance, Cuba's medical assistance and Venezuela's energy strategies can help Burkina Faso develop sectors vital for independence without needing Western aid, which often comes with restrictive conditions. This is about building an economy and defense system that stands independently, a break from the cycles of dependency that
That's all we need from that. You can check that out. What is this? Black Culture Diary. You can subscribe to that. They come out with some interesting articles coming up out of Africa. But we know the west coast of Africa is mainly populated by Israelites. just like I mentioned earlier, Cuba and Venezuela. So let's get some scriptures and close this lesson on out. So that's what's going on right now. That the Lord is bringing down a kingdom. Which kingdom? Kingdom of the Edomites, the wicked. Right? Let's go down to Joel 3 and 10. This is what's going on with these nations that are weak. Like they said, the American government, the U.S., along with its Western allies like France, Germany, uh, the UK, Great Britain, Spain, they have oppressed several countries, nations, for instance, Cuba, Venezuela, and all of South America, Central America also, any nation where some brown people at, where the Israelites reside, or maybe some Hamites over in Africa, right? They colonized these places. They colonized the Western world, which is modern day Canada, America, Central America, and South America, through the guise of manifest destiny. Then they use colonialism to continue it, along with another term, imperialism. So, Joel 3 and 9. We start at 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be weakened. We can start there at 11. Now, you just heard, or we just read, seen the look newscast. Cuba's going to be helping out Burkina Faso mainly in the health sector, and Venezuela with energy. But Russia is providing military assistance to all three nations. Like Russia said, they're going to mirror what America been doing, which is supply all America's enemies, all the Western countries, the Western hegemony enemies with weapons. Hmm? Joel 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Yeah, y'all in trouble. Let's get this thought. This is the thought of the wicked. The wicked being who? The Edomites. Let's go to Psalms 49 and 11 right quick. Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is who? The wicked, the Edomites, that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. One example of that would be the continent of Africa. It's called Africa for a reason. For what? It's named after Edomite. Scipio Africanus, if I ain't mistaken. You can look that up, right? This is another thought. This is how they let me get out of this. The wisdom of Solomon, the second verse, talking about the wicked. This is them. This is their thoughts. This is their process. So, especially for the countries like France, they got a lot of iniquities on their hands for what they have done to the children of Israel. Not only in Haiti, but over on the west coast of Africa, like in Burkina Faso, like the Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Mali, Niger, all them countries for the turn on these Edomites, and they finna go at it with them, along with the Moravians. Everybody, man, all the nations are mad at these Edomites, man. Wisdom of Solomon, second chapter. We start at verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. See, right? The ungodly, the wicked, thinking to themselves, but they ain't thinking right. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. See, that's what a mistake was. Yeah, you can return from the grave, but you're going to come back through regeneration. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is a smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart. which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. What they don't realize is all spirits return to the Father of spirits, which is the mighty, mighty Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. And judgment takes place under the sun. So every third and fourth generation, those very same spirits come back to earth for judgment. Let's drop down. This they thoughts continuing, right? Wisdom of Solomon, verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth, and after our end there is no return. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. That's they thought, but they wrong. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. That's them, thinking that their houses gonna last forever. Now remember now, when you read the book of Genesis, uh, Isaac's blessing to Esau was the fatness of the earth, but he was ruling with the sword. The sword is his weapon, right? Come on, therefore, verse 6, let us enjoy the good things that are present. Let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. Meaning, they raping and robbing, baby. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Meaning, whatever your heart desire, whatever your eye can see, let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. Here go to point. Verse 10, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So they passed all them decrees through the Catholic Church during the Renaissance period to start manifest destiny. You can look that up. That's history. So all you gotta do is go through the times of history and place yourself during that time. And you will see because of the curses that the Israelites are under, we broke the covenant with the most high power, the only true living power, the mighty, mighty Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Therefore, we had to suffer through these things. We were destroyed as a nation, right? So all these laws, statutes, and decrees that these Edomites that came up with over time, maritime law, redlining, Jim Crow law, all this shit. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. Correct. We righteous, and you motherfuckers unrighteous. He upbraideth us with our offending the law. Y'all offend the laws of the most high power. Y'all finna pay for this shit. And objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. So y'all got everybody fooled. But right? So, but now, colonialism, let's look this up real quick. That shit is coming to an end. The fuck is that? Slovakia. Let's type in colonialism. 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 The definition: domination of a people or area by a foreign state or nation. The practice of extending and maintaining a nation's political and economic control over another people or area. That's what these Edomite countries have done since they took back over during the Renaissance period and up until now, right? Note, while the word colonialism is sometimes considered to encompass non-state forms of influence and domination of the corporate as by corporate or religious entities. In general use, it is more typically understood as an extension of state power. All right. The United States was a product of colonialism by mass migrations, and it was the colonists themselves who created the country. India and China were victims of an extractive colonialism that drained away national wealth. Yeah, by the British. Guess what? I did this in another lesson. Them Indian, the Elamites, and the Moabites, they got some for y'all, motherfucker, Edomites too. Hmm. Let's look at this. Africa's push for independence from colonialism, which mirrored one. Man, the primary. Hmm. And then usage of colonialism and imperialism in context dealing with the domination of a people or area by a foreign power, right? So right now, the Palestinians can use this as an example, even though they ain't supposed to be in that land, they using that land by design of the Lord. So when the Israelis, them 48 fakers came over, and now what they doing to them? They got them in subjection. Since they came over in 1948, they done had them people in the open air concentration camp. That's like colonialism, right? Imperialism. Let's read this again. In context dealing with the domination of a people or area by a foreign power, colonialism and imperialism are often used together with no real distinction in meaning. Used separately, however, each of these words can take on a slightly different emphasis. Colonialism comes from colony and tends to be applied in context addressing the efforts that colonialism has on the lives of those living in colonies. Imperialism is closely related to empire and therefore tends to place more emphasis on the ruling power and its intent to expand its dominion as well as expanded empire itself as well as on the expanded empire itself with its distinct parts subsumed under the banner of the dominating force. First known use, 1791. Yeah, so that would mean it's imperialism that's going on because the Spanish took over the land of Cuba and South America, where Venezuela is, right? The French took over mainly the west part of Africa. What they're going through right now is a rebellion of all these nations. So they put sanctions on them to cripple their economy and weaken them. Then they put in a puppet government. See what happened over in Venezuela, right? They just had elections around what, September, August, September. And America didn't want to acknowledge that Maduro was voted in again, that Maduro got voted in again. So now y'all saying with today's election that we got to have the National Guard out, there's going to be some problems. Somebody might try to interfere with our election. Knowing that's what you do around the earth. You interfere with people's elections, set up puppet governments through imperialism, right? Let's get this. Get a couple of verses that came to mind. Me thinking about these Edomites, man. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the 8th chapter. Remember this, Israel, 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner doing evil, Shalaki, though a sinner do an evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High Power, which fear before him. Shalaki. Yeah. Just because you don't see nobody, you see somebody doing something wicked, and you thinking, man, I can't wait for the Lord to get their ass. Just wait, right? The Lord is long suffering. He just letting all these iniquities of these Edomites pile up so he can show his glorious, wondrous work of how he gonna take their ass out. So like, now everybody worship him. All glory be to the Most High Power, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Let's continue, man. Just some verses that came into mind from looking at that Burkina Faso making moves, man. Hopefully all them little other little puppet ass governments over in Africa won't yield to their oppressor. Now, let's get that first before we get to Isaiah. Nah, we're gonna go. We'll come to that. Woe to the oppressor. Woe to the oppressor. Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. They turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. So for all these years, man, they got these countries living in straight up poverty, man. Why they stripped them of all their riches and resources. You know what I'm saying? They natural resources. Don't worry about it. The Lord gonna get your ass. Hmm. Let's go a couple over. This was finna happen. Oh, look, you can read Isaiah 13, prophecies about Babylon. But I want to do this one right here first. 14. Now, this for everybody who keeps saying that. I'm just gonna read the first verse for this. This thought just came to my head. For everybody that keeps saying it, that any other nation could get in and become an Israelite, or as they would say, like to say, a Jew or Jewish. No, Israel's tongue. Isaiah 14 and 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. He say you're gonna choose no other nations. Because we already know that the Lord changed not. The most high power, Yahweh by Shemi outside, he changed not. And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Yeah. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. That means slaves. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Now, as we look around the modern world right now, who being oppressed by who? These Edomites have had a thumb on the other nations, oppressing them. South America, Central America, the Native Americans, the Israelites, so-called African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans. But they also oppressed them Hamites too. Elamites, right? Moabites, Ammonites. But we're talking about us, right? We was the ones who was last in captivity in all these nations. Let's get down to 5 for the point of this lesson. I already read that. I started off with that. Shalak, I just wanted to go through that first part. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. We back in Isaiah 14. I already read 5. Hold up. Shalak, let me see. Yeah, I read down to 9. But we can keep going. You can read Isaiah the whole 14th chapter. Like it's saying 10. How they should speak and say, saying to thee, art thou also become weak as us? Art thou become like us? Like unto us? Yeah. The Lord have taken wisdom from the Edomites. Jot down to verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? That's the elite of the nation of Edom. Salaki, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? They weaken the nations, but now the Lord say, what? Beat your plowshares in the spurs, pruner hooks. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt myself. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High Power. That's why they're trying to set up this new world order right now. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. No, you can't. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. It's going to be ugly for you, Edomites, from this point forward. Y'all been going down, but y'all finna really feel the wrath of the Most High Power. Yahweh by Shemi outside. It's gonna be hell for y'all, meaning terrible times. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness with all these fucking bombs y'all letting up on everybody and destroyed the city thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners, that didn't let the righteous men go? Hmm. Hold on. Here go the point right here. That's why I came back to 14, Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Hmm. That's why we was reading out of Wisdom of Solomon in the second chapter. Hmm. You think you don't come back? Yeah, okay. Y'all back. That's why y'all finna pay for it. Judgment time, Ecclesiastes. Judgment take place under the sun. That they do not rise. So like me read it over. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. That means every Edomite in America, you finna get destroyed. The Edomites over in France, y'all finna pay too. Let me get somebody, Shalaki. Let me get somebody, please. Ask us real quick. For unrighteous dealings, please ask me. 10th chapter, right? Why the Lord finna do all these things? Why is he doing these things to the wicked ass Edomites? Because of unrighteous, Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? Why is the earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an for such and one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his vows. That's all they've been doing around. They going around. They think their houses will last forever. How long can you ride, motherfucker? How much money you need, man? You feel with greed. Now, France in particular, dealing with Burkina Faso, you didn't have these people under subjection since the 1700s, right? They got a lot of gold. What y'all do? Take the gold from them. Say you can't process the gold here because y'all ain't got nowhere to process it. So we're gonna ship the gold from Burkina Faso. We're gonna ship y'all gold to our country, where we're gonna refine the gold and then sell it back to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by the sea. Colonialism. Just look it up. Imperialism. They went around mainly where all the children of Israel were scattered and oppressed them people, oppressed us. Therefore, the Lord is finna unleash his wrath on you. He unleashing his wrath on you. And that's your ass. Esau. Let's go down. Let's see. There's a couple more in this that I read through. They full of pride. The Edomites full of pride. The beginning, Ecclesiastes 10 and 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High power, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. You know that they despise the laws, all the way going back into the book of Genesis when they was Cain. For pride is the beginning of sin. And he said the same thing the Lord told Cain. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Don't just wait, Israel. He finna punish, right? That's what he finna do. The Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. Verse 15, the Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. We just read it in Isaiah 14, man. We finna have rulership on this earth, man. We the meek on the earth. We finna overthrow the Lord finna overthrow the proud for us and set us in the kingdom. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. That's what's coming for you Edomites. Hmm? That's what's coming for you Edomites. Let's read that again. We ended on that. Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. The Lord overthroweth countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. Yeah, he's going to destroy this wicked ass setup these Edomites in established worldwide with this worldwide dominance. It's coming to an end. And what main country he going to use to destroy it? Another Edomite country. Them Russians. Burkina Faso making moves. Guess what, Israel? We one day close to the kingdom. Shalom.